As the weather warms up, and I promise you it's going to eventually, I'm looking well ahead to next weekend. 21, 23 are your forecasted highs with lots of sun on the weekend. Now, again, that's the long-term forecast. Could be wrong. But I promise you, warmer days are ahead. BBQ season officially here or right around the corner. And whether you're flipping burgers on a basic grill or slow smoking some ribs for 12 hours, there is no shortage of options out there. Compact propane barbecues, tiny charcoal grills. There's really high-end things that have all the bells and whistles. So let's try and figure out what the fair price is on the ultimate BBQ setup on this week's edition on how much things should cost. Let's go to Ted Reeder, an award-winning chef and author. Ted, welcome to the program.
How you doing, Elias?
I'm good. So, you know what? You're at a party, okay? You're hanging out. Someone starts to pick your brain, says, "Oh, what do you do for a living, Ted?" And then they say to you, "Oh, Ted, I need a barbecue. What should I get? How much should I spend?" How do you answer that question?
First thing out of my mouth is, how hard do you want to work? And
Great.
And that determines the foundation of where you're going to take your grill research, and then your purchase in the end is how hard do you want to work? So working with natural gas on a gas grill is efficient and quick and easy, whether it's propane or natural gas. You turn it on, you have heat, you finish cooking, you clean it, and then you shut it down, and you're ready to go. And you can do burgers and steaks and things like that. You can rotisserie on a gas grill, and you can also smoke on a gas grill. But if you want to work a little harder, say you want a dual grill / smoker, and maybe it's a pellet smoker, which is very easy. It's a plug it in, it's set the temperature, and fill the hopper with the pellets, and off you go, and you can smoke. And those price-wise, those can range anywhere from just under $1,000 to upwards of $3,000, depending on how big you want them and what you're looking to cook. You also need to determine how many people you're cooking for on a regular basis and how often you're going to your grill. Are you a once-a-week person? Are you twice a week or 5 times a week? You want something more durable the more you're going to cook on it. And then there's one level even further is the smoker levels. So charcoal grills / smokers, and they can range anywhere from $25 to $30 for a little hibachi, which is a grill open, or up to a different style of a Kamado smoker, which it can grill and smoke and service your needs that way. And they can range anywhere from $1,000 upwards of $5,000.
Ted, is it fair to say that most people overestimate just how much work they want to do? And I'm thinking about myself, charcoal, like all I've had for the last little while, maybe almost a decade now, I've just had the charcoal grill. I absolutely love it, but it stops me from barbecuing because it's a lot of work. So I only do it maybe a couple of times a month because of that.
Yeah, so you want to make a charcoal grill a little more efficient for you. Getting the charcoal hot is the key. And so what we use at my restaurant and what I use at my home is a propane torch, because I have instant heat with that, and I can point it at the charcoal and get it burning real, real hot and fast so that I can get the charcoal up to the flame point, and then it starts to form the layer of ash. When the flame disappears, it's good for grilling. You need patience and time for that. That can take anywhere from 30 minutes upwards of an hour, depending on how big of a fire you're having to create. So patience is required for charcoal. Gas, it's go out, or a pellet smoker. Go out, turn it on, and you're ready to cook on it.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is with whatever equipment you're going to spend, like set a budget and a realistic budget, because prices have gone up. And think about what you're going to cook. How many briskets are you really going to smoke in a year versus how many steaks, burgers, hot dogs, chicken breasts? What are the main things that you're going to cook? So do you need to smoke, or do you need to add that? And you have to think about families and friends. I'll say this, that a lot of women don't like heavy smoke. They want sweet smoke. They just want a little hint of it. So as a guy, as a barbecue guy, oh, more smoke is better. It's actually reduce the smoke because you want to hit all your friends to enjoy it.
Yeah, and I've had those discussions too, Ted. You're absolutely right. There's various differences of opinion, right, with how people want that barbecue to happen. Now, Ted, I got to ask you. I think for barbecues, we ask this on this segment that we do every week, how much things should cost. There's one question I go to quite a bit. I think for barbecues, it's really apropos, and it's this one: do you get what you pay for? When you look at the barbecues out there, if you're going to spend $2,000 instead of $1,000. Do you get $1,000 more or double the value there? Do you get what you pay for when it comes to barbecues?
With a proper amount of research, yes, you will. You do. You can spend a couple $100, and I'll use a charcoal kettle grill, right? And they have varying models, and they start at maybe $199 to $200, but they go up to $800 or $900. Because different venting systems. So you do get what you pay for. You get more bells and whistles traditionally, and you get more materials put into it. So when you're buying a gas grill, what's important is the weight of the grill and the weight in terms of the lid and the weight of the firebox and how thick is the firebox. Because the thicker the metal, the more heat it holds in, which gives you more efficiencies throughout your cook. If it's a thin piece of metal, it's going to burn out in 2 years. You paid nothing for the grill, really, and it's only going to perform for that level. You want durability. You want it to last 10, 15 years. Spend the money now, and you'll have that through its lifespan. And keep it clean.
Yeah, and the maintenance there goes a long way. Ted, you know what? I was talking to Andrew Carter, host of the morning. You know Andrew well, right? Yeah. The host of the morning show here. And, he was saying, listen, in our climate, these things, they're going to rust out. And he was saying he wouldn't, spend too much on a barbecue because he says every 3 years you're going to replace it anyways. What do you say to that on durability and longevity on these things? And what kind of lifespan should we be thinking about for these devices?
Well, with an inexpensive gas grill, they will start to rust. The steel that they use in them is an inferior level of grade steel versus a more expensive grill. And so you're looking at the weight of some grills are made from stainless, and how thick is it, and does it hold the heat in, and those become more durable. But you have to keep your grills clean. You've got to keep them dry. And so leaving them out in your backyard at the end of the season covered is a great way to lose the longevity of that grill. What you want to do is at the end of the season is you want to clean it down completely. And if you're putting it away and you're not going to use it, then wheel it inside the garage so that it's out of the elements. Uh-huh. Put it someplace so that it can breathe and not get moisture on it. So that way you won't have mold growing in it, like on a Kamado grill. If you don't keep the lid closed, you'll get a buildup of moisture in there that produces mold. And then that's a hard thing to kill and to clean. And so clean as you go. A clean grill is a healthy grill. A clean grill is a hotter grill. The best grill to use in a Montreal winter truly is a Kamado, because it's a smoker and a grill, and it's made of ceramic. So once it gets hot, it's hot. It's going to hold that heat in. And so you cook with that kind of a grill with the lid closed, and then you can either smoke a brisket, or you can at 200 degrees, or you can grill a steak at 600 degrees in the same unit. And it reserves any charcoal once you snuff out the vents. The charcoal goes out, and you don't have just ash. You've got coals that you can brush the ash off and use to start your fire. So it's an efficient way as well. That saves money because charcoal costs are going up.
Yeah, seriously. And Ted, to wrap up here, I'm one who's looking for a new barbecue, and I've actually ended up, looking on Facebook Marketplace, and I was like, oh, I don't want to buy a used barbecue, do I? Would you have anything? Would you have any concerns about going with a used barbecue?
No, I sell off a lot of my grills and my smokers as I've worn through them, or I'm not using them anymore. And you can, but you need to keep them clean. Some things, gas grills, the burners burn out, and they start to fall to pieces. They don't have the durability that a Kamado could have, or a heavy-duty gas grill can have. So, really, that's what that comes down to.
And when you see made in China, are you saying, "Oh, I could get a good value on this one," or do you run away?
I do the research first. I don't not have it on the list. There are products that do come out of China that are very good. There are parts that come out of China that are very good, that are then utilized here in the manufacturing process of Canadian grills. So you have to look at the durability of the equipment that the manufacturer is putting into it. And really, in that element, it's the more you spend, the better the product's going to be.
Ted, we'll have to leave it there. Let's have you back soon, because I know people also want to talk about how much the stuff you put on the grills cost. So, that's another part of having a good barbecue system, is the meat and the chicken and everything else that you're going to put on there. Ted, you were great. Thanks for coming on.
My pleasure. Have a great day.
Ted Reeder is an award-winning chef and author, and boy, does he know his barbecue.
iHeartRadio is throwing it back.
2010s, the decade.
To the days of huge hits and unforgettable anthems. A non-stop stream of the biggest and best.
Drake, Rihanna, Beyonce, Katy, Gaga, The Weeknd.
And more. All your decade-defining favorites, all in one place.
Hi, it's Katy Perry.
Hey, it's Bruno Mars.
This is Kesha.
Find 2010's The Decade on the free iHeartRadio app. Preset the station so it's always one tap away.